The intercepted message, the signal from beyond in the depths of space, far beyond the outer rim of the solar system, a small crystalline vessel drifted silently through the cosmic void. Its hull shimmered with an opalescent beauty that seemed to capture and reflect the light of distant stars. Inside this delicate craft, Ambassador Lyra of the Nexus Coalition carefully prepared humanity's first contact message. Her species, the E3, had been watching Earth for decades, marveling at the rapid advancement of human technology and the fierce determination that drove them to reach for the stars. Lyra's 6 slender fingers danced across holographic controls as she composed the message in multiple human languages. The Coalition had spent years studying human communications, learning their customs, and preparing for this historic moment. The message was simple yet profound: "Greetings, children of Earth. We come in peace, seeking friendship among the stars. Your courage and ingenuity have caught the attention of many worlds. We wish to welcome you to the greater galactic community." As the message prepared to transmit toward Earth, Lyra felt a mixture of excitement and nervousness. First contact was always a delicate matter, but humans had shown such promise. Their recent breakthrough in quantum drive technology had impressed even the most advanced species in the Coalition. Surely, they would welcome peaceful contact with their galactic neighbors, the hunters in the dark. Unknown to Lyra, her ship was not alone in the void. Lurking in the shadow of a rogue asteroid, a massive wedge-shaped vessel watched and waited. The ship belonged to the Kytherian Dominion, a militaristic empire that had spent centuries conquering and enslaving weaker species. Admiral Zethkar, the Dominion's most ruthless commander, studied the readings on his tactical display with cold reptilian eyes. A Coalition diplomatic vessel, he hissed to his bridge crew, his forked tongue tasting the recycled air. Perfect. We intercept their pathetic peace message and claim this new species for the Dominion before they can poison them with their weakness. The Kytherian warship was a monster of dark metal and bristling weapons. Nearly 3 times the size of the Coalition vessel, it embodied the Dominion's philosophy of conquest through superior firepower. Zethkar had used ships like this to bring dozens of worlds under Dominion control, and he saw no reason why Earth should be any different. Power weapons, Zethkar commanded. Target their communication array first. I want them alive to watch as we corrupt their message to these humans. Earth's silent guardian. Meanwhile, at the edge of human space, the UES Prometheus cruised through the darkness on its routine patrol. The ship was humanity's crown jewel, a kilometer-long marvel of engineering that represented the very best of human innovation. Its quantum phase hull could shift between dimensions, its fusion cores could power small cities, and its AI systems could process information faster than entire planets. Captain Elena Vasquez stood on the bridge, her dark eyes scanning the star charts displayed on the main screen. At 38, she was young for a ship commander, but her tactical brilliance and unwavering determination had earned her the respect of every crew member aboard. The Prometheus was more than just her command, it was home to over 2,000 of humanity's finest scientists, engineers, and explorers. "Captain," called Lieutenant Sarah Kim from the communication station, "we are picking up an unusual energy signature at the edge of sensor range. It's not one of ours." Elena's posture straightened immediately. First contact protocols had been drilled into every spacefaring human for decades, ever since they had developed faster-than-light travel. "Dr. Chen to the bridge," she announced. Over the intercom. Dr. Marcus Chen arrived within moments, his graying hair disheveled from hours spent in his laboratory. As the ship's chief scientist and quantum physicist, he had dedicated his life to pushing the boundaries of human understanding. "Captain, if this is what I think it is, then we are about to make history," Elena finished. "All stop. Begin passive scans only. I want to know everything about whoever's out there before we announce our presence." The attack. As the Prometheus drifted closer to the energy signatures, its advanced sensors began painting a clearer picture. 2 vessels hung in space, one small and elegant, the other massive and threatening. Even as they watched, the larger ship opened fire on the smaller one. "My God," whispered Commander Jake Morrison from the tactical station. "It's an attack. The smaller ship's shields are failing." Elena gripped the arms of her command chair. Everything in her training told her to maintain distance and observe, but everything in her heart screamed to help the obvious victim. "Can we determine the nature of the conflict?" Dr. Chen worked furiously at his console. "The smaller ship was transmitting toward Earth, Captain. Some kind of communication attempt. The larger vessel appears to have jammed the signal and is now attempting to board. First contact, Elena breathed. Someone was trying to contact us and someone else doesn't want that to happen. On the main screen, they watched as the elegant vessel's defenses crumbled under the relentless assault. Boarding pods launched from the larger ship, and within minutes, the smaller craft was under enemy control. Captain, Dr. Chen said urgently, I'm detecting massive power fluctuations from the attacking vessel. They are preparing to transmit something toward Earth using the captured ship's communication array. Elena knew she faced a choice that would define humanity's first contact with alien life. They could retreat and report what they had seen, allowing whatever deception was being prepared to reach Earth. Or they could intervene, potentially starting humanity's first interstellar war before they even knew other species existed. Red alert, she announced, her voice steady despite the magnitude of the moment. All hands to battle stations. We are going in. First contact, human style. The Prometheus powered up its systems and dropped its stealth field, revealing itself to the alien vessels. On the Kytherian bridge, Admiral Zethkar's eyes widened in surprise as the massive human ship appeared seemingly from nowhere. What is that? He demanded. Our sensors show nothing, then suddenly a ship larger than our own battlecruiser materializes. His tactical officer studied the readings with growing concern. Admiral, their technology, it's unlike anything in our databases. The hull composition, the energy signatures, even their weapons arrays are completely foreign. Zethkar's surprise quickly turned to cruel anticipation. Excellent. A new species with advanced technology. Once we capture their vessel, the Dominion will have new tools for conquest. He opened a communication channel. Unknown vessel, you will surrender immediately or be destroyed. This system is now under Dominion control. Captain Vasquez received the transmission and turned to her communications officer. Can we reach the captured vessel? Yes, Captain. I'm detecting life signs aboard. The crew appears to be alive but imprisoned. Elena took a deep breath. Open a channel to both ships. When the connection was established, she spoke with the authority that had made her humanity's youngest ship commander. This is Captain Elena Vasquez of the United Earthship Prometheus. You have attacked a vessel attempting peaceful contact with my species. Release your prisoners and withdraw immediately. Admiral Zethkar's laughter echoed across the channel. Brave words from a species we have never encountered. Your ship may be large, human, but you are alone against the might of the Dominion fleet. As if summoned by his words, space around the Prometheus began to shimmer as more Kytherian vessels dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Within minutes, the human ship was surrounded by over 20 alien warships, each bristling with weapons and hostile intent. The odds change. Commander Morrison ran his hands across his tactical display, calculating firing solutions and defensive strategies. Captain, we're outnumbered 20-1. Their individual ships are smaller than us, but together they pack enough firepower to overwhelm our shields. Dr. Chen looked up from his console with excitement rather than fear. Captain, this is exactly what we built the quantum displacement system for. We've never had a chance to test it in actual combat conditions. Asterisk. Elena considered their options. The quantum displacement system was theoretical technology built into the Prometheus during its construction but never activated outside of controlled laboratory conditions. In theory, it could create a localized space-time distortion that would protect the ship while allowing it to affect the surrounding area. In practice, no one knew if it would work or if it might tear their ship apart. The Coalition vessel, she said suddenly. Can we get close enough to beam their crew aboard? If we move fast and the displacement field works as designed, Dr. Chen replied. But Captain, if the field fails, then we go down fighting, Elena finished. But we don't abandon innocents to slavers. Not on my watch. She opened the ship wide. Intercom. All hands, this is the captain. We are about to attempt something that has never been done before. We are going to rescue the crew of a peaceful alien vessel from an aggressive empire that wants to use them to deceive Earth. If we succeed, we'll have achieved humanity's first successful first contact. If we fail, we'll have proven that humans don't abandon those in need, no matter the cost. The bridge crew exchanged glances. They had served together for 3 years, through asteroid storms, solar flares, and the dangers of deep space exploration. Now they faced their greatest challenge yet. Dr. Chen, Elena commanded, prepare the quantum displacement field. Commander Morrison, plot an intercept course with the captured vessel. Maximum speed. The gambit begins. The Prometheus surged forward, its quantum drives pushing the ship to velocities that defied conventional physics. The Kytherian fleet responded immediately, dozens of energy beams and missiles converging on the human vessel. For a moment, it seemed impossible that any ship could survive such concentrated firepower. Then Dr. Chen activated the quantum displacement field. Reality around the Prometheus began to bend and warp. The incoming weapons fire struck something that wasn't quite matter and wasn't quite energy, their destructive force absorbed and redirected in ways that violated every known law of physics. The human ship seemed to phase in and out of normal space, simultaneously there and not there. Admiral Zethkar stared in disbelief as his fleet's most powerful weapons proved completely ineffective. What kind of technology is this? He demanded. Our sensors can barely track them. The Prometheus reached the captured coalition vessel and extended its docking bay around the smaller ship's hull. Within moments, the alien crew was beaming aboard the human vessel, saved from certain slavery or death. But the rescue was only the beginning. As Ambassador Lyra and her crew materialized in the Prometheus's medical bay, Captain Vasquez realized that humanity had just announced its presence to the galaxy in the most dramatic way possible. They had declared themselves protectors of the innocent and enemies of tyranny. The quantum field continued to protect them from the Kytherian assault, but Elena knew it couldn't last forever. The real test was yet to come. How long could human ingenuity hold out against superior numbers? And what would happen when the field finally failed? The answers would determine not just the fate of the Prometheus and her crew, but the future of humanity's place among the stars. The quantum gambit. The field holds inside the Prometheus's medical bay. Ambassador Lyra struggled to understand what was happening to her. The human ship's medical scanners were more advanced than anything she had encountered, and the strange energy field surrounding the vessel made her sensitive ethereal nerves tingle with unfamiliar sensations. Dr. Sarah Williams, the ship's chief medical officer, worked carefully to treat the ambassador's injuries while trying to establish communication. Can you understand me? Dr. Williams asked slowly, her tablet displaying translation matrices that the ship's AI was rapidly developing based on the coalition's earlier transmission attempts. Lyra's large, luminous eyes focused on the human doctor. Despite her pain, she felt a sense of wonder at finally meeting one of the species her people had studied from afar. Yes, she replied in accented but clear English. Your language patterns, we have studied them. I am Ambassador Lyra of the Ethera people, representative of the Nexus Coalition. On the bridge, Captain Vasquez monitored the rescue operation while keeping one eye on the tactical display. The quantum displacement field continued to deflect the Kytherian attacks, but Dr. Chen's readings showed concerning energy fluctuations. Captain, Dr. Chen called out, wiping sweat from his forehead, the field is stable for now, but we are pushing the quantum cores beyond their designed limits. I estimate we have maybe 30 minutes before we risk cascade failure. Elena nodded grimly. 30 minutes to figure out how to neutralize 21 hostile warships and establish peaceful first contact with an alien species. Just another day in the life of a human space explorer. Commander Morrison, she said, what's our tactical assessment? Jake Morrison studied his displays with the focused intensity that had made him one of Earth's finest military strategists. The good news is that our field is completely neutralizing their weapons. The bad news is that they are adapting. They've stopped direct fire and are trying to disrupt the field with gravimetric mines. Learning about the enemy in the medical bay, Ambassador Lyra had recovered enough to request immediate communication with the ship's commander. Despite Dr. Williams' protests about her need for rest, the ambassador insisted that the information she carried was too important to delay. Captain Vasquez arrived in the medical bay within minutes, accompanied by Dr. Chen and a linguistic specialist. Seeing a living alien for the first time was a moment Elena would remember for the rest of her life, but she pushed her wonder aside to focus on the crisis at hand. Ambassador, Elena said formally, I'm Captain Vasquez. We are honored by this. First contact, but I need to understand what we are facing out there. Lyra struggled to sit up, her ethereal features showing determination despite her obvious pain. Captain, those ships belong to the Kytherian Dominion, one of the most aggressive empires in our galaxy. They have conquered dozens of worlds through deception and overwhelming force. They intercepted our peaceful message to your people and plan to replace it with lies designed to make you trust them. Dr. Chen leaned forward with scientific curiosity. What kind of lies? They would have posed as benevolent first contact specialists, offering friendship while secretly studying your defenses and technology. Once they learned enough about Earth, they would have launched a full invasion fleet. Lyra's voice carried the weight of worlds that had fallen to similar deceptions. Elena felt a cold anger settle in her chest. These aliens had tried to trick humanity into slavery, and they had hurt innocent beings who only wanted to offer friendship. How many species have they conquered this way? 17 confirmed civilizations, Lyra replied. Billions of lives lost or enslaved. The Nexus Coalition formed specifically to oppose them, but we lack the military strength for direct confrontation. We focus on rescue and prevention operations. The human solution back on the bridge, the situation was becoming more complex by the minute. The Kytherian fleet had repositioned itself into a perfect sphere around the Prometheus, launching a coordinated gravitational pulse designed to destabilize the quantum field. Commander Morrison watched the tactical display with growing concern. Captain, they are learning fast. This gravitational attack is actually having an effect on our field stability. Dr. Chen confirmed Morrison's fears. The field is holding, but the energy requirements are increasing exponentially. We need a solution that doesn't rely on pure defense. Elena studied the enemy formation, her mind racing through possibilities. 21 ships in perfect spherical formation, each contributing to a gravitational weapon designed to crush their defenses. It was tactically brilliant and nearly impossible to counter with conventional weapons. Dr. Chen, she said suddenly, what would happen if we reversed the polarity of the quantum field? The physicist looked startled. Reversed it? Captain, the field currently protects us by phasing us partially out of normal spacetime. If we reversed it, we would phase everything around us out of normal spacetime instead. Including enemy ships? In theory, yes, but the power requirements would be enormous, and we have no idea what the long-term effects might be on living beings caught in the field. Elena was quiet for a moment, weighing the risks. Then she opened a communication channel to the Kytherian fleet. Admiral Zethkar, this is Captain Vasquez. I'm offering you one final chance to withdraw. Leave this system immediately, and no harm will come to you or your crews. The reptilian admiral's harsh laughter echoed across the bridge. You are surrounded and outnumbered, human. Your strange defenses cannot last forever. Surrender now, and I promise your deaths will be quick. I gave you a chance, Elena replied calmly. Then she turned to Dr. Chen. Reverse the field polarity. Full power. The tables turn ***. What happened next would be studied by xenobiologists and physicists for centuries. The quantum displacement field around the Prometheus suddenly inverted, expanding outward in a bubble of altered spacetime that encompassed the entire Kytherian fleet. Reality itself seemed to hiccup as 21 warships found themselves caught between dimensions. Admiral Zethkar felt his ship shudder as every system began to malfunction simultaneously. Report, he commanded, but his crew could only stare at their displays in confusion. Admiral, his tactical officer replied with a trembling voice, our weapons are non-functional. Our engines are non-responsive. Our shields are. I don't understand these readings. It's as if we exist and don't exist at the same time. The other Kytherian ships were experiencing identical problems. They could see each other, could communicate, but could not affect anything outside the strange bubble of distorted space that surrounded them. They were trapped in a prison of altered physics, helpless as newborns. On the Prometheus, Dr. Chen monitored the field with a mixture of excitement and terror. Captain, it's working, but the power drain is incredible. We can maintain this for maybe 10 minutes before we risk burning out every quantum core on the ship. Elena opened a channel to the trapped fleet. Admiral Zethkar, your ships are now caught in a quantum displacement field. You cannot harm anyone, you cannot escape, and you cannot call for reinforcements. However, you are in no immediate danger as long as you do not attempt to break free by force. The Kytherian admiral stared at his useless controls, experiencing fear for the first time in decades. What do you want, human? First contact, done right, I want you to witness something, Elena replied. Then she switched to a ship-wide intercom. Ambassador Lyra, if you're feeling well enough, would you join me on the bridge? It's time for proper first contact. Ambassador Lyra arrived on the bridge supported by Dr. Williams, her injuries treated and her spirits lifted by the incredible display of human ingenuity she had just witnessed. As she looked around the bridge at the focused human crew, she felt a surge of hope that had been absent from her life for years. Ambassador, Elena said formally, on behalf of humanity and the United Earth Government, I welcome you to our space. We apologize for the violent circumstances of our first meeting, but we want you to know that Earth stands ready to join the galactic community as a force for peace and justice. Lyra stepped forward, her voice carrying clearly across the bridge and through the open communication channels to the trapped Kytherian fleet. Captain Vasquez, I speak for the Nexus Coalition when I say that we have waited long for a species like yours. Your courage, your innovation, and your willingness to protect the innocent mark you as natural allies in our struggle against tyranny. Admiral Zethkar listened to this exchange with growing dread. The humans had not only defeated his fleet without destroying a single ship, they had done so while conducting peaceful first contact with their intended victims. It was a display of power and restraint that spoke to capabilities far beyond what the Dominion had expected. The message spreads. Elena turned her attention back to the trapped Kytherian fleet. Admiral, I'm going to release your ships in 60 seconds. When I do, you will have exactly 10 minutes to leave this system. If any Dominion vessel ever again attempts to interfere with peaceful contact between species, or if you attack any coalition world, humanity will respond with methods that make today's demonstration look gentle. You cannot enforce such threats. Across the galaxy, Zethkar replied, though his voice lacked its earlier confidence. Dr. Chen looked up from his console with a slight smile. Admiral, while you've been trapped in our field, we've been scanning your ship's databases and communication systems. We now have the location of every Dominion world, the deployment of every fleet, and the communication codes for your entire military network. Elena's voice remained calm but carried an edge of steel. We've also uploaded a complete record of today's events to your communication systems. Every ship in your fleet will carry the message back to your empire. Humanity protects the innocent. Test us at your own risk. The new Guardians. As the quantum field collapsed and the Kytherian ships regained full functionality, Admiral Zethkar faced a choice that would define his empire's future relationship with humanity. He could attack immediately and almost certainly lose his entire fleet to these mysterious humans, or he could retreat and report that a new power had emerged in the galaxy. The decision was easier than he expected. All ships, withdraw to hyperspace. Full retreat. Within moments, the Kytherian fleet vanished into faster-than-light travel, leaving the Prometheus alone with Ambassador Lyra's rescued vessel. The bridge crew let out a collective sigh of relief. As Dr. Chen confirmed that the quantum cores had survived their unprecedented usage, Ambassador Lyra approached Captain Vasquez with tears of gratitude in her large eyes. Captain, in 3 centuries of coalition history, no species has ever stood up to the Dominion like this. You didn't just save my crew, you may have saved countless future victims of their expansion. Elena felt the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. Humanity had just announced itself to the galaxy as a protector species, a role that would bring both opportunities and dangers. Ambassador, humanity has always believed that with great power comes great responsibility. If we have the ability to protect the innocent, then we have the duty to do so. Over the following hours, as the Prometheus escorted the coalition vessel toward Earth, Ambassador Lyra shared the wonders of galactic civilization with her human rescuers. She spoke of worlds covered in crystal forests, of species that communicated through music, of technologies that could terraform planets in decades rather than centuries, but more importantly, she shared the coalition's greatest need, a species strong enough to stand against empires like the Dominion, yet wise enough to use that strength responsibly. In humanity, she had found exactly what the galaxy needed, the ripple effect news of. The encounter spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. The Kytherian Dominion's own communication networks carried the story to every corner of their empire, showing their invincible fleet trapped and helpless against a single human ship. Slave worlds whispered the tale in secret, finding hope. In the knowledge that someone had finally stood up to their oppressors, the Nexus Coalition received the news with celebration and wonder. A new species had emerged that could match the Dominion's aggression with superior technology and tactical brilliance, but unlike their enemies, these humans had shown mercy and restraint. Other galactic powers took note as well. The hegemony of BRAS, a machine intelligence collective, began calculating the strategic implications of human quantum technology. The Eternal Empire, ancient rulers of the galactic core, stirred from their millennia of isolation to observe these new players. In galactic politics, but perhaps most importantly, on Earth itself, humanity began preparing for its new role among the stars. The successful first contact had gone better than anyone had dared hope, but it had also revealed the dangers that lurked in the depths of space. Shipyards began working around the clock to build more vessels like the Prometheus. Training academies started preparing the next generation of human space explorers and defenders. Captain Elena Vasquez stood in her quarters, looking out at the stars through the quantum-reinforced viewport. In the space of a few hours, she had gone from routine patrol commander to humanity's first interstellar diplomat and military hero. The responsibility was daunting, but she felt ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. After all, she was human. And humans had never backed down from a challenge. YET.AS The Prometheus continued its journey toward Earth, carrying news of successful first contact and humanity's new role as galactic protectors. One thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again. Humanity had arrived among the stars, and they had made it clear that they would not stand idly by while tyrants preyed upon the innocent. The age of human space exploration had begun, and with it, a new chapter in galactic history was being written. By courage, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to justice that would echo across the stars for generations to come.